Hello, everybody, and good morning. We are live on the campus of San Benito High School for the 32 6A Cross Country Championship. Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Robledo, and we're going to have a fantastic race. We were in Chelsea yesterday for the 32 5A Cross Country Championship, but now it's the 6A, and we're going to start off with the girls, Mike Gonzalez.
That is correct, Carlos. Beautiful day out here. I see the girls warming up. Got here about 45 minutes ago. It was really cool, but then the sun came out, and now it's starting to warm up.
Yeah, we got the girls warming up right behind us. Why don't we just move over here a little bit, Mike? Let's do some, let's change up direction a little bit and get out of the shot because they're right behind us. We got the Donna North Chiefs, Lady Chiefs right here that are warming up. Then we got the San Benito girls also right next to them. Hannah, Harlingen South, and there you got the Weslaco Lady Panthers actually waving towards the camera over there. If you pan down just a little bit more to the left, Mr. Vinny, you'll see our Weslaco Lady Panthers warming up over there, getting ready to run, and everyone's excited. You got Los Fresnos right next to them, and Harlingen, the Lady Cardinals, and it'll be an interesting route around in this area. San Benito, they're going to go, first of all, in a straight direction right up towards the high school. And then they'll be taking a left. It'll be a left, and they're going to be running towards the expressway. If anybody who's familiar with San Benito and the layout over here, it's they got the high school here, they got softball fields, they got the baseball field, they got this new indoor facility that they're actually building. It's right behind us here. But once again, let's take a look at this route. They will go start off towards the indoor facility, go towards the tennis courts. Then they're going to go up a couple of hills that are right behind us. They'll go over these hills, around the band practice field, and then around Bobby Stadium. They'll go way towards the I guess that would be the north area from when we're standing, around the parking lot, and then come around the softball field, the tennis courts again, and then they'll run around again, but it'll be a different route. They're not going to loop it around like they did yesterday at Chelsea. So it's a little bit different. It'll be fun. You got some hills. It's cool weather, and it's almost time for a championship.
You know, Carlos, our fans that saw yesterday will remember that the whole race was pretty much just, you go kind of around a fence. It was pretty flat. You go around some trees and some bushes. But the cool thing about this course is that there's going to be hills. You're going to go around buildings, and so it's kind of like an obstacle course a little bit here, which
it's cross country.
Cool. It's cross country.
That's cross country, and there are a few fans that are around here. They got some that are sitting out in the parking lot, social distancing, of course, and plenty of coaches out here. Happy to be here, K-West Live, once again on our YouTube channel. Thank everybody for tuning in. And so here we are about to get started right here with the Weslaco team. Last year they finished in second? The Lady Panthers did. It was the Condominiums that won last year in the 31 6A. Weslaco came in second, and Weslaco East came in third when Weslaco East was at 6A. Harlingen is a contender this year. Harlingen's a team that's going to be contending for this 32 6A. They were district champs last year in their district. Yeah,
they were, Carlos. So in talking to Pablo the other day, Pablo Magued, the head coach, and he tells me that he feels like the girls are ready. And they've competed in some meets throughout the year. They finished in third place, I believe, in those meets. But he feels like they've trained very well. This is the moment they've been waiting for. This is what you prepare for all season long. I mean, under circumstances a little bit different, but nevertheless, he feels like his girls will be ready for the challenge. And with some new teams, as you mentioned, Harlingen South, Los Fresnos, Brownsville Hannah, San Benito, for these girls, not familiar with them as far as facing them in district, but I know that in years past, they've probably gone against them in other meets, but now it's for the real deal.
Yeah, the boys will be coming up after this meet right here. We'll talk a little bit more about it. I know there's plenty to talk about here. As for Amity Ebarb, the senior on this team, one of the seniors on this team, her, Destiny Longoria as well, very, very successful runners. She'll be competing for a district championship. Destiny Longoria will also be there battling out with her. The team from Harlingen is also going to be very, very strong. It's going to be a race. If you just talk a little bit about the two teams, it's going to be between Weslaco and Harlingen for this district championship.
Yes, keep an eye on Amity Ebarb. And you mentioned Destiny Longoria. And Harlingen has a runner named Victoria Scarberry, who's only a sophomore, who's done very, very well this year, Carlos. And also Harlingen South has a couple of runners named Alexis Fonseca and Aaliyah Fonseca. Both freshmen have done very, very well. They're twin sisters. And as a matter of fact, the coach told me they have 3 freshmen overall that have done very well this year.
All right, looks like we're about to get started. We got some music playing right behind us, right by the finish line. Music's about to go down a little bit, and we'll see if they're going to get started here. Looks like we got the starter getting everybody ready to go. Yeah, I think they're waiting for the gator. That's right, they're waiting for the gator that they run around. The obstacle course kind of shows them the route and where to go, and I believe that's what they're waiting for.
Something I do really like, Carlos, is I'm looking at the athletes here. They look really loose. They look really focused, and it looks like they're ready to go.
Looks like the starter is ready, and we're about to get started. The 32 6A Girls Championship here in San Benito. And they're off a quick pace here, and the Weslaco girls in the pack looking for Amity Ebarb to break out. She is one of the favorites to win this, along with Scarberry from Harlingen. It could be a battle between those two girls. Also look out for Destiny Longoria, also from Weslaco. So far right now, a large pack together. No one has broken out early on.
Scarberry, as a matter of fact, Carlos, beat Amity Ebarb earlier this year, and for Amity, that was her first loss in a Valley meet in over a year, I think it was. And so she's looking forward to this race.
They will take a left after they left this little practice field area, go towards the parking lot, if you're familiar with the San Benito layout here. And they'll be coming around the tennis courts up these hills that are right behind us, and you'll get a chance to see them as well. A gator will lead the way, and we'll get to see here as they come out from the parking lot who is in first. Kind of a blind shot for us right now, but it's going to be a battle once again. We talked about Amity, we talked about Scarberry, and Destiny Longoria.
I'm kind of curious, Carlos, on how they're going to attack the hills. And talking to Coach Almaguer, he tells me that he's telling his girls to attack the hills. Just attack the hills, go up, and then let the momentum take you down. And they're going to go through 3 of them. So let's see how they run through the hills.
And they're coming out of the pack, and you can see up front, it looks like, from my vantage point, someone in purple. And that would probably be Amity Ebarb leading the pack right now. Scarberry, just a sophomore. She was a freshman. She won it last year as a freshman. Very strong runner. And Ebarb, the senior here, leading the pack at the 32 6A championship.
And Amity Ebarb is actually also a defending champion in 31 6A. So that's also worth noting there. And it looks like she's the one in the lead right now.
And Coach Almaguer has to be happy right now as Ebarb. And then right behind her, Destiny Longoria. And there's another also from Weslaco. Plenty of Weslaco Lady Panthers in that little pack right there, Mike. As they go up the hill and down, and you can see Ebarb attacking that hill with no problem. And there you see Scarberry. Scarberry just passed one of the Lady Panthers right on that hill, and she looks like she is about to make a move here towards Longoria.
You notice, Carlos, some of these runners are, they're trying to go up the hill and kind of struggle a little bit. I mean, it's their first time going through it, so that's going to be part of the adjustment they're going to need to make when they go the second time.
And the way the fans go up those hills and go right near them is pretty incredible as well. And the fans will be running around this route as they now will go towards the stadium, Mike, and continue on this route.
Yeah, Bobby Morrow Stadium. Those that don't know who Bobby Morrow is, he was a track star here in San Benito, I believe around the 1950s, and won a gold medal, I think, in the Olympics, named the stadium after him. The stadium opened back in 2006.
Was on the cover of Life magazine, on the cover of Sports Illustrated, went to Abilene Christian University, was an outstanding athlete, and ran in the Olympics to win several medals for the USA. So we hope you're enjoying this broadcast right now. Once again, here at San Benito High School, beautiful weather, nice cool weather. The coaches, we talked to them earlier this week, got a chance to visit with many of them, and they told us that they really do enjoy running in this weather, especially when it's hot and humid and you train all summer and you have something like this. The time just might be a little bit faster here this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yesterday when we were in Ecalchasa, there was no wind whatsoever. And this morning, there's very little wind, and they see it as an advantage for the runners. It's perfect weather, comfortable weather, versus the first couple of meets where it's hot and humid. For this, it's just perfect weather.
Yes, it certainly is, and it's been a tough year for our athletes, not only in Weslaco, but all across the Rio Grande Valley, all across Texas, with COVID-19 hitting the area back in March. They had to shut down operations for classes. First, it was just, we're off for 2 weeks, then it was off for another 2 weeks, and then it was to remote learning. It was transitioning to remote learning, and that's where we have been. There were no championships in track or softball or baseball. And no All-Star games took place as well. There were, no softball, no baseball, softball, and football All-Star games, what I'm trying to say. And so it's been a quiet summer. They did have some workouts for about 2 weeks. Then they had to shut it down because of COVID as well. And that kind of hurt the times a little bit. Coach Pablo Almaguer was telling us. And so the girls had to really train on their own.
Yeah, they did. They had to train on their own, Carlos. And I mean, it really depends on the athletes and who they are. It's a lot of self-discipline. And Coach Almaguer even admitted that he used the first couple of meets more for conditioning versus trying to win the race. And he even said, he's like, I'm a competitor and I want to win the races. But they had to make an adjustment this year. And the adjustment was that, hey, we need to get in shape and prepare ourselves for district. And so right now is the one that counts. And we all know that. So that's why I think he feels pretty good entering this race, because he feels like the girls are now in shape and ready to go.
Yeah, you hit a certain level where you're kind of peaking, and he feels like they are, I don't know, they're exactly at the point where they need to be, but he's working towards regionals and working towards state, because he feels like he's going to have competitors, he's going to have some runners that are going to be going to that level.
Yeah, and that's, in the end, that's what you want. You want to qualify. That's the goal. You want to win district, or you want to at least qualify for regionals, and for regionals, you want to go to state. And I mean, we all know Pablo's program, how strong it is, and they've done this for a pretty long time now. They're among the elite programs here in the Rio Grande Valley. And so I think they know what it takes, and the girls know what it takes to get to where they need to be. And we all know the circumstances are a little different versus years past. But I think they're going to be okay, Carlos.
Teams we're watching here this morning are Weslaco, Harlingen South, Donna North, Gadjana, Rivera, Los Fresnos, San Benito. Harlingen, they won their own Harlingen cross-country meet earlier this year, so they're going to be looking to make some noise. And then it's Ebarb, Scarberry. You also have Olivas from Harlingen, who's going to be a strong runner, Destiny Longoria. Those are the players to look out for individually, or the runners to look out for individually in this cross-country meet. Running 3.1 miles, it's a 5K. So whenever you see your friends running 5K, they're running 3.1 miles. And the top 2 teams are the ones that are going to regionals, and the top 10 players. That's it. Usually it's more than 2 teams. I believe it's 3 teams that go. But this year they're only taking 2 teams, Mike.
Yeah, UIL made a change, for safety reasons, obviously. So, unfortunately, whoever wins third place is going to kind of go home a little disappointed, but that's kind of how they decided to go this year for safety purposes. For the safety purposes.
To limit the amount of students that are going to be in a pack.
Right.
They want to keep it down a little bit.
And it's worth noting that the top 10 runners, regardless of they're with a qualifying team or not, they're going to just qualify the top 10 runners, and that's it.
So Weslaco is looking for a district championship here. So is Harlingen. They're the 2 teams that are battling. You got to try to finish near the top as much as possible, because the low score wins, kind of like golf.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And the coaches basically, they say that they would like to have, obviously, their top runner finish as high as possible. And then they want their 2, 3, and 4 runners to try to finish at least in the top 10, top 15. The more runners you have finish in the top 20, the better chance you have of qualifying as a team.
Ebarb last year was the #1 runner across the Rio Grande Valley. I guess you could consider her the #1 runner. I mean, they only had 3 or 4 meets, so it's hard to tell, but she's certainly a top runner. She was a top runner last year. She went undefeated last year in the Rio Grande Valley. She won regionals and finished 8th at state.
That's right, Carlos. As a matter of fact, she's attempting to go to the state to qualify for state for the 3rd year in a row. She's gone in back-to-back years. And, then you have Destiny Longoria. She's a regional qualifier from last year. And then Victoria Scarberry, only a sophomore, did qualify to regionals as a freshman. And so those are your top 3 runners to keep an eye on in this race.
Yeah, 3 of those girls. You got Longoria, Amity, and Ana Vela. They were on that regional championship team. They won regionals in 2018. So look for all of them to be making some noise here this morning.
And it's nice to have that pedigree still as part of the team. And all the younger runners kind of feed off of that.
The runners on the team for Weslaco: Amity Ebarb, a senior; Destiny Longoria, another senior; Calissa Cavazos, a junior; Ana Vela, a junior; Lexi Escamilla, a sophomore; and Katie Munoz, a freshman. Those are all members of the Weslaco Lady Panthers. So here we go, Mike. You can see Destiny that is Amity Ebarb, who is leading the pack right now as she runs in front of the spectators. The cars that are parked in the parking lot, going right by our cameras right there, is Amity Ebarb.
Yeah, and it looks like now, Carlos, she's kind of separated herself from everybody else. And now we're beginning to see some of the other runners come up. But Amity Ebarb with a huge lead now.
Yeah, she's got a great lead right now, Mike, in comfortable first place position. And the rest of the pack is right there. You see several girls. You got one girl from Harlingen. You see Scarberry right there in the rest of the pack. And you see one of our girls from Weslaco, I believe, also bunched up right there. A couple of girls that are wearing purple. I think one of them for sure is from Weslaco, maybe another one from Weslaco, or that could be a San Benito girl. It's hard to tell from our vantage point.
The impressive thing about Amity, Carlos, and even watching her during the track season, is seeing her run the 3,200 meter run. Just how she's able to separate herself from everybody and just how easy she makes it look. It's just very, very impressive. Phenomenal athlete that she's going to compete at the next level. No doubt about it.
So Amity, once again, all alone, first place, trying another district championship for her in a great career at Weslaco High School. You got to celebrate what she has done in her career. Heavily recruited, Mike. She can go to a D1 school. I know Coach Almaguer said they are sending him plenty of emails. A lot of schools want to talk to her about running at the next level.
I mean, an athlete like her, who wouldn't want her? Just phenomenal student, phenomenal athlete, great teammate, very talented. As we see her work her way up the hill.
Yeah, she's going to be going up the hill one more time, Mike. You see that gator up there is waiting for her. And the rest of the pack has not been able to catch up to her as she's got a tremendous lead. Once again, the race is going to be for second, third, and the rest of the top 5, Mike, because that's where a lot of runners are still packed together. And there she is, Amity Ebarb, up and down the hills here in San Benito.
If you notice, Carlos, she's just kind of pacing herself a little bit. She knows she has the big lead there. You don't want to risk any injury, especially going up a hill like that. You want to make sure to maintain your balance. That's very important.
Racing against time is what she's doing right now. She's racing against her own time. I'm sure she's glanced at her watch a couple of times to see what her pace is like.
And as we're going in our final lap, you notice a lot of these coaches are kind of working their way toward the athletes, just kind of encouraging them, giving them a little inspiration here.
And one of our girls from Weslaco looked like she is making a run for second place. Amity way up ahead. But I believe that's Destiny Longoria, who is now making her way towards the top 5 runners.
We even see some of the boys athletes trying to encourage the girls here. Every second matters, Carlos, because remember, only the top 10 advance.
A couple of more of our girls from Weslaco coming up the hill towards the middle of the pack here now. They'll be coming right through this area one more time, Mike. They will come. They're building a new indoor complex right by us. They'll be going around that area. We'll Amity Ebarb, and they'll be coming right in front of us for the to the finish line, Mike.
Coach Pablo Armaguer, Carlos, aiming for his 5th district championship. His 17th year as head coach.
Yeah, Pablo's been around a long time. Played football at Weslaco High School, was a football player, was a track runner, ran at UTRGV back in the day. Came back and became a track coach, and he's done a tremendous job, not only with his cross-country teams, but with his track teams as well.
Absolutely, and it's kind of funny how he's a head coach of the cross-country team. Didn't even compete in cross-country. Well, because he was a football player, that's why. He was doing damage on the football field, on the gridiron, helping the Panthers win some football games and compete for a playoff spot there.
Back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s,
Back
right.
in the 90s during the day.
In the early 90s.
We'll have the boys championship coming up right after this. They're out here already starting to warm up. And that's going to be very, very competitive as well. The boys will be out here. And they'll be coming out and running the same route.
As we see, girls are still running up the hills here. For a lot of these athletes, Carlos, that are not going to qualify, for them, it's just beating their personal record. That's what it's all about for them. That's what the coaches will tell me time and time again, like, hey, some of these athletes unfortunately will not qualify, but you know what? If they can break their own record, they'll go home happy.
I think a lot of them are happy to be here. COVID has shut down a lot of operations across the Rio Grande Valley. Several football teams have been affected. I know the Weslaco Panthers they haven't been able to work out for 2 weeks as well, had to move and adjust their schedule. So there's still 4 games left on the schedule for them, home games, all for them. So they're excited about that. But other sports also across the Rio Grande Valley Memorial ended up playing Harlingen at the last minute because they were supposed to play a Shareland Pioneer, but Pioneer had to shut down their operation and go into quarantine. I don't know how long that lasted, but there was some adjustments there. And so a lot of these kids, seeing what has happened to other sports, they're happy to be out and about, happy to run, and able to compete here today.
Most of these schools have competed in like 3 meets. Normally, you compete in about what, 5 or 6 meets before district. So they did what they could under the circumstances, and had to make the adjustments. But
what's interesting is that the way they had to practice, you stay at home all day, you're not in school, you don't have that routine, you're doing online classes, then you work out, and then you go back to your online classes. So definitely is
very
totally different from what we've had before. Here we go. Here's Amity Ebarb. You could see her now coming in first place, getting a round of applause from the crowd. And she'll make the turn right by the tennis courts and try to come in right by the gator and come in first place. The rest of the pack still way behind.
They still haven't even come out, yeah.
And here's Amity. Amity Ebarb, once again, a district champion for the Weslaco Lady Panthers as she crosses the finish line. What a tremendous race, Mike. She was upset a little bit earlier this year. In that first race she had, she lost to Scarberry. This time she took total control of this race.
And Pablo even admitted that, hey, maybe that was the best thing for her. Kind of a little wake-up call to say, hey, I am beatable, and she proved today that she is the best. Here's 32.68.
Look at this. We got 5 girls here. These are going to be all finishing in the top 10, and you got Destiny Longoria, Mike, who's making a run near the top. 2 girls from Harlingen. That's Scarberry. And then you got Longoria right now, who's trying to make a push for 4th place. Harlingen second, 2 girls right there. And Longoria gonna finish up strong for the Lady Panthers in 5th place. The 2 seniors, Mike, 1 and 2 for the Lady Panthers.
So they did their job. This is pretty much how Pablo anticipated it would go if Amity finishes on top and then Destiny in the top 5.
You can see the rest of the Lady Panthers are pulling for their team. Amity now, a fan in this race, watching the rest of her girls finish as a battle here for a district championship now, Mike. It's all about points.
Now it's all about points, right? And every position is very important here because, again, the higher you finish, the less points you get, and that's what it's all about. And Pablo was hoping that he can have at least 4 or 5 girls finish in the top 20.
There's going to be Calista Cavazos now coming in here, finishing this race, the young junior for the Lady Panthers. The sophomore for the Lady Panthers now, Lexi Escamilla, coming in and finishing strong as well. We'll get an opportunity here to talk to some of the girls as they come to the mic. Ana Vela for the Lady Panthers finishing here. A grueling race, Mike, for some of these girls. You got to believe 3.1 miles, and these girls are burning rubber. They are moving, Mike.
Yeah, they're moving. I mean, 3.1 miles is quite a bit. We have a couple of the Weslaco High girls already here, ready to join us here. Amity and Destiny, who are going to move on to regionals.
All right, Amity, why don't you step up to the mic? I know the race is still going on. Got to get a couple of comments from you. How does it feel? Congratulations, you're district champion once again. How motivated were you to come into this race and win it once again? I know that it's been an up and down type of summer, you know, as far as, are we getting audio or not? Was it on? Is it on? Okay, can we hear Destiny, Joe? Nope, not yet. Hold on, we'll get to you. We'll get to Amity in a minute.
I can give her my mic.
Go on, dude.
If she did, then Lexi did too.
Can we hear Amity now? Test mic? You give me a test mic, Amity? How are you doing? You feel good?
Good.
All right, tell me a little bit once again. We didn't get your comments earlier.
Okay.
Tell me, how do you feel about this race?
I feel really good. good because considering we had a short amount of time to work for it, it was honestly like it felt like we weren't even going to have a district meet. So it feels good to be here and just accomplish this too.
What was the summer like, not knowing if we were going to have a cross-country season?
It was really hard, you know, to keep myself motivated, but it was hard being away from coach, and you know, it's really hard to push yourself when you're working by yourself. So yeah, it was just a hard summer, but coming back felt a lot better.
Destiny, can you step up here and let's get a couple of comments from you too. Congratulations. Looks like you finished near the top as well. I know you were trying to push there a little bit towards the end, try to get up a little bit higher, but congratulations. How do you feel about your race?
Thank you. I feel a little disappointed. I feel like I could have gone a little bit more, but I guess it's okay.
What was it like? Tell me a little bit about having to be self-motivated. I would see you guys running every morning out by the high school.
Yeah.
And this year during the summer, sometimes I would see you guys running, sometimes I would not see you guys running. It was a crazy summer, wasn't it?
Yep, it was very crazy. At certain points, it was hard to get up and go, but I knew I had to do it since it was my last season here. And, well, I just hope for the best.
The weather here, did it feel good to run in this type of weather?
Yeah, it feels really good to run. I'd rather run like this than it being hot.
All right, well, congratulations. You ran an outstanding race.
Thank you.
All right. All right, well, there we go. Destiny Longoria and Amity Ebarb. Both of these runners right here did an outstanding job. And we'll have to wait for the results. The boys are going to start up right now, right after this race. But believe, let's see, most of the girls are done. Sometimes you do have a few runners that finish the course a little bit late. And we'll try to get Pablo Amaguet over here and get a couple of comments from him as well.
Yeah, right now Pablo's talking to the team right now. Just give him a little pep talk. I'm sure he's congratulating the winners. I'm sure he's pleased with where Amity and Destiny finished. And we'll wait for the final results to see where the team finished.
Mike, why don't you go get Pablo, and I'll get set up the microphone for him. We're going to go try to get Pablo Amaguet and have him talk a little bit about this race. Got the music playing in the background. Interview by reporters behind me. One of our reporters from the local area as well. And she's going to be very happy in how she did here today. The senior going out with a championship. All right, Coach. Well, congratulations. How do you think, Amity, I know we don't know the final results yet, but as far as Amity, she ran a tremendous race.
Great race. We knew coming in, she felt really good. And like I told you all before, we were looking forward to this meet because it's taken us a couple more weeks to get ready. And this is a meet where we really want to get going. Obviously, we got regionals next week and then state 2 weeks after that. And so it's very important for her to have a good race today. Yes, we needed her to finish in first, which she did her job, but we also put time in her head too, because for her it's important to establish those times for her to be able to advance to those big meets and be able to compete at those big meets. So we got a bigger picture for Amity and Destiny as well, but I'm real proud of our team. I think they did what they could do despite all the circumstances, but no excuses like we say. We just went out there and we put our hearts out there, and it showed today, and I'm real proud of our team for dealing with all the adversity they had to deal with.
Were you surprised at how far ahead she finished?
Not surprised, because we know what Amity can do, and I think the rest of the Valley in South Texas know Amity, and so we expect that. We expect it. We don't take our competition for granted. We respect our competition, but like I said, we have a bigger plan for her, and for her to be able to compete at that top level, she has to be able to run the times that we need right now and run by herself. I mean, I tell her the gator is your opponent right now. She's got to go get that gator and be as close, and that's the only way we can put it. So it looked like she was doing that. I was all around the whole course, got to see her throughout, and she seemed very good and on top of her training right now. So
Got to be happy. Also, Kalissa, Destiny, Anna.
Proud of all
everybody.
of them. Destiny's a senior too. She's been back and forth, and like I said, it's been a rough summer for all of them. But to see them come out here and just do their best and compete, Destiny's advancing again. Like I said, we don't know what we're doing with team totals right now. It's going to be very close. Obviously, South looked very good. They had a lot of orange in there. Then there was Harlingen. So we called it right. We knew the top teams who were going to be there, and we came out and competed. And what I love is, anytime we come into a new district, that seems like that district always rises up to the occasion. And we love that competition. It brings out the best in our girls, and we're just excited to be here. I mean, just to have the opportunity to race today.
All right, Coach, we'll let you go. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we'll wait for the final results that'll be coming in for the team championships here, as Weslaco certainly in the vying with a top 1 finish, with Amity Ibar finishing in first, Destiny Longoria finishing also in the top 10, and we'll get those final results. Were you able to find anything out, Mike, on the team results? Not yet. Okay, still working on that. All right. So the girls will cool down. They'll put the warm-ups on and try to warm up, not cool down, but warm up. It's still a little bit cloudy out here, so I would say it's a little bit cooler than yesterday. Definitely. And the boys will be starting up right after this. So we'll continue on with our coverage here at San Benito High School in the 32 6A Cross Country Championships. And my coach was talking a little bit about how Harlingen South looked pretty strong in this meet. They were kind of a surprise. It was he saw a lot of orange there towards the end. So as you look at these finals, it's going to be a battle between Harlingen South and Weslaco.
I think the key, Carlos, is that they had about 3 or 4 girls together, kind of in front of everybody, and that's kind of how it works. And in cross country, that's what a lot of the coaches emphasize. Like, hey, we'll have our top runner, and we hope that the athlete will finish in the top 5. But then if you can have 3 or 4 bunched together and finish in the top 20, that helps the team out overall. And we saw a lot of that from Harlingen South and from Harlingen High as well. So I'm anxious to see what the final results are. The gentleman told me he just needed a couple more minutes, so I'm going to try to work on that before the boys start. Hopefully we'll able to announce who is moving on to regionals.
Yeah, the boys should be lining up here pretty soon. They have a 9 o'clock start, so they'll be starting soon, and we'll get the results. They have these bibs have some type of tracking system in them, so they should be able to calculate everything here pretty quickly. Been an interesting coverage for us for covering cross country. We've done a lot of football, baseball, and basketball. Those are the 3 sports we usually cover. Done some swimming over the years, but now cross country for the very first time going live on KWES, and it certainly has been interesting because you're out and about, you're in a different location, you don't have a set setting, and it's been fun to do this, with all the camera guys, Mike Palacios leading the production crew. And it's been a lot of fun over the past couple of days.
And the feedback has been phenomenal, Carlos, from the coaches, from some of the fans. They've been reaching out to us, appreciating the coverage and letting us know, a lot of these parents are working and they're watching us right now. And so it's great, and it's an honor that we're able to provide this coverage for our district. And, we obviously represent Weslaco ISD, but I mean, we're also showcasing Harlingen South,
sure, absolutely.
Brownsville schools, Los Fresnos, and San Benito, Donna North. Just showing them what we do at Weslaco ISD and at KWES, but at the same time, we're showcasing our athletes here in the Rio Grande Valley who are going to move on.
That's our philosophy.
To bigger things, yeah.
Showcasing not just our kids, but the other kids as well. And whenever our kids go to their schools and their television crews or have their productions, we hope to get the same type of coverage.
And the awesome thing, Carlos, is with the year we've had here in 2020, and then you go to an event like this, it's the student athletes that give us that something to look forward to. And it's just great to see. It's great to see the smiles. It's great to see the energy. It's great to see competition, which is what we're used to this time of year in football, in volleyball, cross country. And just to have that back, even though it's October and we're moving into November, to have that back, it's just a great feeling, and it's just very, very exciting.
You got the championship trophies that are out here as well. They'll be presented this morning to the championship teams on the girls' side and the boys' side. So right now we're just waiting the results. Country championships 32. Our coverage continues here, the 32 6A Cross Country Championship on the campus of San Benito High School. Been out here early morning setting up for this production. We got a beautiful facility going up right next to us. This is going to be an indoor practice facility for athletics at San Benito High School. And you got Bobby Morrow Football Stadium also in the area, the softball field, the tennis field. So whenever you come out to a sporting event, it's all right here in San Benito in one area all around the high school. It's still a one high school town is San Benito. They haven't had to divide up into two high schools, so they're able to keep all their facilities in one central area. So when you pass by on the expressway, you get to see all the construction that's going on right here. And they've done a fantastic job also of hosting this event. A great course that was run, going up a couple of hills. That was a little bit different. And it's been very, very nice having them host us here today. Boys coming up next as they continue to calculate the results for the girls. And Mike Gonzalez, go ahead, take it away. What you got?
Okay, Carlos, big congratulations to the Harlingen High Lady Cardinals who won the district meet. Ended with 46 points. And then second place was the Harlingen South, who finished with 53 points. And in third place was Weslaco High with 58. A very, very, very close race. But it was well ran. Phenomenal job by all the athletes. But it will be Harlingen High and Harlingen South moving on as a team to the regionals.
Amity Ibar, Destiny Longoria, they will both move on to regionals because they finished in the top 10. So congratulations to them. So the individual champion goes to Weslaco, team champion goes to Harlingen, second place goes to Harlingen South, third place Weslaco Panthers. Last year, Panthers also, Lady Panthers, came up short winning that district title in that they finished in second place to Economides. Economides won last year. Weslaco East was third.
Yeah, but I think Pablo overall is pretty happy. I mean, we talked to him a little earlier. He was pretty happy with the way he competed, the way the girls competed. And, they're going to learn from this and move on next year and come back. And a very young team, yeah. I mean, and so they have something to look forward to, something to use.
You got Kalissa coming back. She'll be a senior next year. You got Lexi, who's a sophomore. So she'll be one of the leaders next year, Escamilla. And knowing Pablo Almaguer, he'll have some other runners who will be coming up from the 8th grade level who will be running as well. And then it's moving on to track season now because track season is next for our girls. You go from the cross country, they're going to start training for track. I know after regionals and state, they'll be out there in the track and they'll be out there working out and getting ready for the 800, the 1600, and the 3200, and then all the other events that take place. Yeah,
that famous phrase that coaches like to use is not rebuild, it's reload. Even though some of these athletes are going to move on, Destiny Longoria is, I think, going to graduate. But hey, it is Weslaco. They always have great athletes, and if somebody from 8th grade moving on as a freshman steps up, and that's who it's going to be.
Well, they'll make the official announcement here in just a little bit. I'm not sure the athletes know or even the coaches know, Mike, because you came over here with the results. And I guess they'll make it official here in a little bit, and then we'll have the boys' action. So we're going to go in. We'll keep coverage here. I think Coach Skalinski just found out the final results. She's over there going to tell Pablo. Yeah. But either way, Coach. Sorry. Either way, Mike Gonzalez.
Some people call me Coach.
It's been fun here, and we'll have the boys coming up here pretty soon as well. I was talking about the facilities that they have here and this indoor facility that they're working on right behind us, and just all the facilities right here at San Benito High School. Everything is one little area, which is pretty nice when you're going to cover an event.
It's beautiful, Carlos said. I mean, San Benito is one of two Valley programs in the 6A level that's just one high school. Yeah. So with that being said, they want to make sure that they take very good care of their student athletes, and they're doing that with this beautiful new facility that they're going to build. And obviously they have a beautiful stadium, and I mean they have tennis courts. The softball program is very, very strong here in San Benito. I think they've had 2 teams that have gone to the state round, a solid baseball program, and so just the school district has done a tremendous job of taking care of their athletes and providing them with the best facilities, best academic programs. and doing a very good job hosting this meet.
Yep. So that's a little bit different. All right, so they're making an announcement for the results. Go online to a website for all the official results, endurancesplits.com. So that's how they're making the announcements here. So I guess that's how everyone's going to find out. They go to the website, get on their phone, and that's how they will make the announcement, I guess.
Yeah, times have changed. No longer will they announce it. Yeah, now they're just saying, hey, check on your phone, go to the website.
I've covered a couple of golf tournaments, and they'll make the announcement. They'll gather all the teams together, and then they'll make the announcements that way.
Even present them with a trophy to the first place winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the boys are starting to make their way to the starting line. I know the Weslaco boys are here, and they'll get ready to run as well. And that'll be next here on KWS.
We have a pretty good turnout here, Carlos. So I'm noticing over there some of the fans are looking from the parking lot. The ones that were lucky enough to make it out here, cheering on the athletes. And that's always nice to see. Being that this is a weekday, it's a Friday morning.
So boys are next right here at the 32 6A Championship. We got Donna North, I believe, making their way. You got the boys in maroon making their way towards the starting line. Got Weslaco already here. The teams to look out for: Donna North, Harlingen, Hannah, also a very strong team, Mike.
Donna North, a program that's only been in existence for about 10 years. And they've had an athlete, at least one athlete, qualify for state in 8 out of 9 years. And they've actually gone as a team in 2016 and 2019, which is just last year. And as a matter of fact, Carlos, in 2016, they finished second in the state, which is phenomenal. And the team that beat them is a school based out of the Dallas area, which Coach actually joked with me that they have an indoor facility. So they really dedicate cross country over there. And I mean, for a Rio Grande Valley team as young as Donna North is, to go up there and represent the Valley and finish in second place overall in the state, it's just outstanding. And they went back last year and did a great job. And then, Harlingen is the other team that you mentioned to look out for. They won the Donna Invitational earlier in the year, and it finished in second place in the Harlingen meet as well. And Brownsville Hannah, they have a state qualifier on their team. A solid program, have a lot of history there. And then of course, our Weslaco Panthers finished in 5th place last year in 31 6A. Coach Raymond Lara looks for, it was with a young team. He looks for them to step it up this year a little bit more. And we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we got the Donna North Chiefs now making their way. The team I saw earlier was Los Fresnos wearing maroon. And here we go, the Donna North Chiefs, led by their coach, all black, as they move their way towards the starting line here. And it seems like every time I get on social media or I'm reading a website, Donna North and their cross-country team and their track team are making some noise. And here they are right in front of us getting ready to go out here and do some damage at the 32 6A Championship.
Yeah, we talk about Donna North and their cross-country team. They also have a rock-solid soccer program over there that have done very well in the playoffs there. So it's a school that's growing. It's a school that's trying to build some tradition there. have athletes that work very, very hard, humble backgrounds. I mean, when you come from a school in Donna, what does everybody know? Everybody knows about their football team at Donna High and their state championship back in 1961. So now you have the Chiefs that just want to build and build and build, kind of like what Weslaco East did when the school opened back in 2000 and 2002 when they started competing in varsity. That's exactly what Donna North is trying to establish.
Absolutely. They're pretty good at soccer. That's another program that has done very well, and cross country over at Donna North. Talk a little bit about the Weslaco Panthers now, and one of those to look out for is going to be Derek Rodriguez for the Panthers, and he's going to be making a run. Coach says look out for him. Coach Raymond Lara, he also ran at Weslaco High School. To look out for him to make some noise here, finish in the top 5 somewhere. Yeah,
regional qualifier from last year. He's hoping, or he's expecting, that Derek can finish in a top 5 overall this year and qualify again for regionals.
Yeah, he says if he runs well, he can win the whole thing. So he'll be looking for him to make some noise as well. And he was also said that COVID really hurt his team as well. He lost a couple of players that I think he had other players that, dropped out of cross country, moved on, and some elected not to run this year. So he doesn't have a very large team in terms of numbers, but he does have. He feels very, very good about Derek.
Yeah, he lost his number 2 runner from last year that was expected to come back, but respectffully, he respected his decision, for safety reasons. That's okay, and you just got to adjust after that. But Derek has done pretty well this year, and he expects some of his young guys to also help out and step up.
The teams for Weslaco, you got Derek Rodriguez, who's a junior. You got Brian Santiago, senior. Ethan Urbina, a sophomore on the team. Ricardo de la Rosa, also a sophomore. Dimas Gallegos, another young sophomore, and then Nathaniel Reynoso. So he's going to be running with 3 sophomores on this team, only 1 senior, a very young team for Coach Lara.
He calls his young guys the Little Giants. Kind of came up with that nickname. But Brian, very athletic. He's also competes in soccer, and as a matter of fact, is a team MVP for the soccer team. Is off his personal best, 10th place last week in the BISD Invitational. And Coach Lara says he has a big heart. So, I mean, between him and Derek, there's potential there to finish among the top 20 perhaps. And then you have Ito Urbina, that's his number 3 guy, has improved tremendously from last year. And De La Rosa, Gallegos, and Reynosa, all just trying to help out the team overall there. So, even though Coach Lara lost an athlete or 2, he's got guys that are ready to step up and that he feels like they can compete here in the district meet.
So Weslaco, Harlingen South, Donna North, Hanna Rivera, Los Fresnos, San Benito. This is the same district. And you talk about redistricting, Weslaco is over at 31-6A, now that they're at 32-6A. And even in cross country, it mirrors what they're doing with football. So all the teams, all the Brownsville schools, San Benito and Donna North, that is the district for cross country. It would be the district also for track, I believe, for these teams. We'll be talking football next week.
Looking forward to it.
Weslaco taking on Harlingen South on a Friday night game. We've got a Thursday night game. Weslaco East will be competing as well.
Against Brownsville Pace.
Against Pace. Pace won last night. Had a Thursday night game. So athletics and sports finally moving along here in the Rio Grande Valley. Got volleyball. Volleyball got started as the very first sport. Cross country. I know there was some swimming already that's taking place.
Yeah, there was a meet yesterday, I believe. I believe in Harlingen there was a swimming meet.
But there was a long delay before things finally got started. Getting started here. About to get started with the boys now section. of the cross-country championship. Girls did their damage. Now the boys just warming up, trying to warm up. It's a little bit windier than it was yesterday. Yesterday there's practically no wind. Here they're having to run against some wind. The sun is now coming out. We had clouds earlier, but it's a beautiful day. Second day in a row with beautiful weather in the Rio Grande Valley. We probably get about 10 to 15 of these a year, where it's just no humidity, nice and cool. So you got to take advantage. You got to spend some time outside, and that's what we're doing here.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why be indoors on a day like this? You know, come outside and enjoy it. You know, whether it's at home, whether it's at a cross-country meet like this. I mean, just go outside. You know, shoot some baskets or something, or run around the neighborhood, or just enjoy. You know, take your kids outside, ride the bike. This is the time of year to do it.
Just got an opportunity to see the Harlingen team warm up. Those guys look like maybe a basketball team. They definitely got some length on them. Some tall, athletic individuals for the Harlingen Cardinals. I could see why they would be one of the teams to look out for. A very athletic-looking team for Harlingen.
You know, when you think about just a normal athlete in cross country, normally they're pretty short, a little stocky, but you know, when we talked to Coach Lara about Derek, and one of the things he mentioned is, man, this guy looks like he can play football. He looks like he could be a free safety for the Weslaco Panthers. And we're like, what makes you say that, Coach? Well, just look at his size. I mean, he's bulky, he's stocky, he's very toned, in great shape. And you mentioned Harlingen, just you have a couple of kids that are good in size that they can play, you know, maybe center position or forward position in basketball.
And Harlingen has been strong in track as of late. Once again, you go to the websites and you read the newspaper, whatever. Harlingen has made some noise when it comes to track. I know a couple of years ago they were there in Weslaco and they won a district championship with a bunch of freshmen. So they're going to be a team to be reckoned with for a few years.
Yeah, and you wonder if some of those athletes are here in the cross country team, but yeah, Harlingen just has tremendous. They have phenomenal athletes, and just they kind of just come from all over the place, and they've done very well. I mean, boys and girls. I mean, we saw the girls earlier win district, and they just develop over there in Harlingen. In Harlingen South, the same thing. They have some phenomenal athletes there in every sport. I remember one year, Carlos, in 2003, the volleyball team went to the Final Four, and they've had some very strong basketball programs as well there at Harlingen South. It's a school that opened in the 90s, so they've established a lot of tradition there.
This is where we find out who trained on their own. A lot of these kids had to train on their own. I know it's happened in football as well over the summer, because most of the programs were shut down across the valley. Not a lot of them got a chance to work out. So a lot of these athletes had to, go to their Google Classroom or get a text from their coach and find out what to do on their own. And then it was up to them to be self-motivated, get out there and run in whatever area you could, find a local park, get out there and train. And that's been happening all across the Rio Grande Valley. So here's where we find out, okay, who stepped it up, who did their training during the summer, and who's going to win the championship.
Yeah, there's only so much that a coach can do. They give you instructions, they tell you what to do, but in the end, it's up to the athlete. It's up to the athlete to put in the work.
Getting ready to get started. These teams are taking off the warm-ups. Got the starter near the starting line, a little bit behind schedule. Yesterday's race, they were right on schedule. Here, they're a little bit behind. But we're going to get started here pretty soon. Got Donna North. They got the lane on the outside over here. Then you got, I believe that's San Benito wearing all gold. Harlingen South, they're going to be in orange. Hannah will be in all brown. The Panthers will be in purple, all purple. And Harlingen, you can see them, they're going to be wearing red and black. And we've got to look out for San Benito. That's where we get a little bit of confusion sometimes, is between San Benito and Weslaco. They're out there as well. They'll be. Let me finish up real quick, Mike. You got Los Fresno's going to be in maroon and white. Got Donna North going to be in black over here, by the way.
And then sandwiched in between Donna North and San Benito is Brownsville Rivera. They're also going to be wearing black, but it looks like they're going to have white tops. So that's how we'll know. That's how we'll be able to distinguish between Rivera and Donna North. Donna North is going to wear black shorts and then black top.
2 minutes is what they're saying now, Mike. 2 minutes before we go live. So they're going to go right at 9:30. That's what we're looking at.
So this is where the athletes will do their last few stretches. The coaches will give last-minute instructions and maybe a couple of selfies or something to post on social media. This is where the adrenaline kicks in. This is when the heart starts to beat at a pretty high level.
Got a team from Rivera here as well, Mike. Didn't get a chance to acknowledge them. They'll be right next to the boys.
Yeah, you bring up San Benito. It looks like San Benito's going to be wearing gold top, gold bottom, so we'll be able to distinguish them between San Benito and Weslaco. Weslaco will be all purple.
Yeah. That Coach Mendoza right over here, right next to us, talking to his team. Game day. He says, have fun. And that's, I think, that kind of helps relieve the pressure of these teams. Just go out there. All the hard work has been done. Now it's just time to have some fun. All right, here we go. Let's listen to the stars as much as possible. And now they're off here, the 32 6A Cross Country Championships, the boys division. And they'll head down and to the left around the tennis. They're off, Mike.
This is where, in the beginning of the race, everybody just kind of starts with a bunch. And then about halfway is where we'll see a little bit of separation. But something Coach Lara talked to us the other day about was this first lap is very, very important for Derek and his other boys here to stay with the competition.
Talked about that first mile.
That first mile, that is correct. It's very, very important that they stay together. You don't want to fall behind and then try to play catch up the rest of the way. So let's see how they do.
They'll follow the gator as they move around the tennis courts and up a couple of hills. Not a lot of hills in the Rio Grande Valley. It's a flat area, but they got some, these are like training hills, I believe, Mike, right next to the high school. And they'll go up and down these. That's where they kind of slow down. You'll see them struggle a little bit going up and down, but they will power their way through this course.
Yeah, you wonder if like maybe the ROTC programs or even the football players, they go through these hills for extra conditioning, but they're using it here for the cross-country meet, which we'll see in a lot of invitationals.
The runner from Harlingen right now in first place, San Benito in second, and you got plenty of runners from Donna North. Got 1, 2 runners, and you got Derek Rodriguez. He's right up there. in the top pack, Mike.
Yeah, you wonder if that runner for Harlingen is Giovanni Cisneros, who actually comes in as the number 2 seed in this race. He regional qualifier last year. But Harlingen has a couple of guys that have done outstanding this year. A couple of other names are Abel and Ivan Montante. All 3 of those boys qualified for regionals last year for Harlingen. And you can see why the Cardinals are one of the favorites in this meet.
So that's the first part of the cross-country trek. Then now is the long portion. Now it's kind of the long haul area where they'll make their way towards the parking lot, towards the stadium out there, and then back around this area. But this is the long part of the portion where they're kind of on their own. Not a lot of fans out there as they go towards the stadium.
Yeah, one of the neat things you'll notice, Carlos, is the girls who just competed a short time ago are now trying to kind of participate a little bit and encourage the boys. Try to give them some inspiration, give them an encouragement, motivate them a little bit.
We hope you're enjoying this broadcast here, the 32 6A Cross Country Championship. Carlos Robledo, along with Mike Gonzalez, K-West Live. One of our first multi-camera productions. We've had some volleyball productions already this year, but we're out here live. We've got some football coming for you. Later, I guess next week, we've got 2 games. Got a game on Thursday night and a game on Friday night. Also look out for more basketball. Girls and boys will be taking place. Baseball and softball. We're going to try to do as many live events this year as possible because of the social distancing and because of the restrictions and allowing families into the gyms and to events. So K-West is going to try to do as much as possible, as many lives as possible. And this is one of the reasons why we're covering this event here, cross country, because they've limited the amount of people who can come out here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlos said, I think we have the best crew in the Valley when it comes to what we do, the school programming here, and we have a Vinny Berry right back there. We got to give a shout out to Val Zamora, who's up there and giving those wide shots that we're able to see there, and of course Mike Palacios, Don Ramirez, Darlene Gracia, Joe Leal come out here last few days to put all this together for us here, and we're having a lot of fun. I know you mentioned basketball. Practice started I think last week for the girls and boys. 1 week the girls started and the boys started after that. So right around the corner is basketball. So we're going to try to provide as many games as possible for the fans to enjoy.
Absolutely, Mike. And were you surprised at all as you saw Derek Rodriguez near? Coach had talked about that first mile. I don't think it was quite a mile yet. Maybe that was half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile. But he was right there near the pack, and that's what Coach Lauda said he needed to do.
Yeah, exactly. No, I wasn't surprised at all because he thought that Derek would have a very, very good chance to finish among the top in this race. Now, the question is, will he be with the front runners after that first lap? That's going to be very crucial, and if he is, then he'll have a chance to finish at the very least top 5, and who knows, maybe top 2 or first place.
Yeah, he says he's ranked 4th. He'd say he's about ranked 4th in the district right now. He finished 8th at a Donna meet. He finished 5th overall at a meet in Harlingen, and then 4th overall at a Brownsville meet. That's where Derek finished to start the season. He says that he is definitely getting better. He's getting stronger, worked out a lot during the summer, and he's one of the leaders, just a junior on the team. The senior on the team is Brian Santiago, and he's hoping that he can finish in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned earlier, very athletic, plays on a soccer team, and was really looking forward to this race and felt like he had a chance to qualify for regionals here. So he has he put in the work and feels like he has a very good opportunity.
And Donna North, they were making some noise. You saw like maybe 3 or 4 near the top. You had Harlingen, who was leading the pack, or one of the boys from Harlingen, but about 2 or 3, maybe a 4th Donna North chief runner near the front, and that's why they could be the favorites to win this championship as a team.
Yeah, the guy to look out for is Oscar Salas. He's a 2-time regional qualifier, and has done very well this year as well. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, they have a couple of other guys that are really young that stepped up. They had a couple of guys last year that qualified for state, but they moved on and they graduated. So when I talked to coach, their head coach yesterday, he mentioned that Oscar is now the guy to lead the team, and they expect him to finish among the top.
Coach Mendoza.
Yes.
Coach Mendoza, he was actually at Donna High at one time, and then when they built a new high school, he moved on to Donna North. He's a great coach, motivator. If you ever talk to him, he's the type of guy that'll get you motivated. He certainly is someone that you would want as your head coach and a leader of young men.
A lot of energy, yes. Even though it was a phone conversation, I mean, it sounded like the race was going to start in 5 minutes. And the cool thing about it was that he was even calling me coach. How you doing, coach? Well, I told him who I was. He still was calling me coach, so he just calls everybody coach. Yeah. But that just shows the passion that he has for sports and for athletes. And, you know, a guy like him is the reason why Donna North is where they are as a program.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a battle. Donna North is going to be up there. Harlingen is going to be up there. Look out for Hannah as well. At least those were the predictions in to this cross-country meet. The Gator is starting to make its way around.
Yeah, you bring up Hannah, Carlos. One of the names we got to mention is John Abrego. I had a chance to talk to him before the meet. You know, he was very excited. He was telling me that he's worked really hard over the summer, and he told me it was challenging there. But he's a state qualifier. He's a state qualifier from last year, and he's also the defending district champ in 32 6A. And last year in state, didn't finish among the best, but he did have a personal best time in that race. So yeah, he's very excited about that.
Got two young men leading the pack there, one from Harlingen. And there's Derek Rodriguez. Looked like he is in third place right now, Mike, as they make that turn through the fans.
So, yeah, he's doing exactly what Coach Lada wanted him to do there. He just got to keep it up.
And he's not too far back either. Can make up as this race continues. And Rodriguez right now in third place for the Weslaco Panthers.
And as we mentioned earlier, Carlos, they're only doing this 2 times. So this is it, isn't it? This is the final lap here. So,
yeah, they'll go up this hill one more time and then make their way one more time around this structure that they're building and then here to the finish. So the Gator leads the pack. And here it's a race for first and it's a race for second. And what I mean by that is you got 2 runners battling out for first and 2 runners battling out for second and 2 runners battling out for third as well. So Derek Rodriguez doing a good job right now of keeping up with the leaders.
Yeah, let's see if he can separate himself a little bit in third place and see if he can kind of work his way towards second. Still got a lot of running to do there, but it looks like we see a young man passing that's about to pass Derek right now. Well, I mean, Derek is still trying to fight him off a little bit as we go up the hill. Yeah, it looked like
from Harlingen and Hannah are battling right now, Mike.
Yeah, that's probably John Aribogo from Hannah. And then we see Derek here in third place. It looked like he was going to give up the lead, but yeah, I think he kind of got it. He gave it a little bit more boost there and has now extended the lead in third place because he goes up the last hill.
Through these hills, and you got to think, you already run 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles, and then to go up these hills has got to be grueling for these individuals.
And the neat thing about it, Carlos, is that a lot of these athletes are very close to each other, so we're going to have a lot of great finishes here. Because keep in mind, the top 10, yes, are the ones that are going to qualify for regionals, but at the same time, even the athletes that finish after that are going to be points that are going to help the team out.
Got to try to finish near the top.
Right. You want to finish among the top 2 to qualify as a team. So that's going to be important.
So the boys make their way now around the structure. They won't go as far out towards the football field as they make their way back around to the area of the finish line. And you'll see them here move pretty quick. Got some of the younger athletes from Weslaco High about to come out here and make the run over the hill. Some of the younger sophomores on the team. Trying to get plenty of experience now, Coach Lara. And Coach Lara, we could talk a little bit about him, Mike, because he's got an interesting story. A very interesting story. I mean, we talked to him for about an hour, and he talked about how, you know, he was a migrant worker. He used to pick cotton when he was younger.
In Arkansas.
In Arkansas, and then he would pick cotton. And then after he finished his work, a 12-hour day of working out in the fields.
Yeah, which everybody was amazed about, including his family. Like, how do you do that? I mean, how do you work all day long and then still put in a workout for, what, an hour and a half or so? He'll probably run like 3 or 4 miles. But it's just that he loves running so much, Carlos. And originally from Florida, moved to Weslaco when he was in junior high. Didn't even know what cross country was. Was in PE class, and then the legendary Tom Owens goes up to him and says, "Hey, you know, would you like to participate in cross country?" And he was just like, "I don't even know what that is," because Coach Owens has an eye for talent and noticed that that Raymond would always finish first in his PE class in every race they would have. So he said, "Why don't you come and try out for cross country? We'll get you going." And man, from there he turned into a great coach, had a phenomenal high school career, moved on, and went to college, got his degree.
Ran at the next level?
Ran at the next level, and then came back to Weslaco ISD and has been with the district for a pretty long time, and now impacting kids.
So we'll see who's coming out here in first place, Mike, as the runners now making their way around the bend. And it was a battle, you said, the two young men, was it Abrigo, you said, from Hannah?
John Abrigo, yes.
John Abrigo. And the young man from Harlingen, who would that be?
I want to say that their top runner from Harlingen was Giovanni Cisneros.
Cisneros. Okay,
yes.
We'll check to see if that's who caught.
So I want to say that's who it is. But we're going to have a great finish here, Carlos.
Yeah, here they go, coming down the stretch here, Mike. And we're going to have a battle. But right now, it does look like it's Harlingen with the lead.
As they make their last turn.
Giovanni Cisneros is going to be your 32-6A cross-country district champion from Harlingen as he finishes strong. And right behind him, Hannah also coming in. He is in second. Abrigo.
And we see
go
Derek,
for third, Mike.
Yeah.
And you've got the Weslaco's Derek Rodriguez, who's battling right now, but he's got someone right behind him from San Benito.
Let's see if Derek can hang on here.
And here we go, Derek Rodriguez finishing in third place, and he will medal and advance to regionals. Strong race by him, the junior from Weslaco High School.
Great job, Derek, finishing strong, holding on to that third place.
Donna North has a runner coming, a couple of ones from Donna North in, I believe that's 5th and 6th. And more coming in the top 10 for Donna North as they make a run. And another young man from Weslaco is coming in here near the top 10, Mike. That's very nice to see as well.
Let's go, radio!
Go race now for points because our top 10 has been determined. And now they'll be helping for the team championship. Young men from Donna North coming in strong, 2 more of them. Hannah with 3 finishers strong here. It's going to be a battle here for Harlingen, Hannah. Be certainly a battle for these young men for the team championship.
Sir, put it right here.
All right, Gio, we can go ahead and talk to you. We got audio for Gio, guys? Yep, okay. All right, Gio, how you doing? Congratulations, you already got your medal and everything. You won a district championship. How does it feel?
Feels good, you know, all this work I've been putting in since the summer, since COVID started.
Yeah.
Putting all the work in, you know, just.
I know it's been a difficult summer for a lot of you athletes across the Rio Grande Valley and trying to get out here and put the work in. How did you get it done? How did you stay motivated during all these shutdowns? And I know you couldn't work out with your team, you couldn't work out with your coach. What did you do to stay motivated?
Just thought about this race the whole summer, how I wanted it more. I wanted to make state, didn't want to be left out like last year.
Yeah. You had a tough battle here, though. It wasn't.
Yeah.
He was pretty close to you, and so you had to battle there towards the end.
And I couldn't have done it without him. He's pushed me the whole race. Without him, I wouldn't been able to run as good as I did today.
Awesome, awesome. Well, congratulations once again. You are the district champion. Is this what you expected? Were you expecting the district championship this year?
I expected it as a team more. I didn't really expect it as an individual.
Individual, okay.
But all comes to show that anything happens when you put your mind into it, work hard for it.
Pretty nice weather. Did that help out because it was nice, cool temperatures here today?
It kind of did. I felt really relaxed the whole way. I think that's because of the weather. Last week it was the same type of weather, and I felt the same as I did today, relaxed.
All right, congratulations, Giovanni Cisneros, the 32-6A district champion in cross country. Congratulations. All right. You want to step up to the microphone? All right, got our runners that are coming up over here, and now with us is John Abrego, picks up the silver medal. Congratulations. I know you were battling there for the district championship. What was this race like? And I know it was a tough battle for you here tonight.
Well, the positive side of the race is that the race had beautiful weather. It's the best part, you know. This race is a real challenge of who wanted it more, you know. And my strategy for this year was
mental.
All goals in your head, just put them together and work hard to accomplish those goals. So I tried applying that to the race, and it looks like someone wanted it more, and that was a downside of my part.
But you got to be, you got to be happy.
You got to be happy
how
with
you felt, how you performed here.
Yeah.
All the obstacles you had to go through.
Sometimes
everyone
failure is an option in order for you to work towards success.
Absolutely.
So it's a learning experience, you know, this district meet. I'm always going to remember this meet, and I'm more than anything proud of my team. They really took it to heart this race and pushed themselves as much as they could. And overall, I'm proud of Gio and Derek and all the other top runners for the other teams.
Well, congratulations. You ran an outstanding race. It was nice seeing you out there.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, let's get Derek Rodriguez out here from Weslaco. One of our runners from the Weslaco High School who was out here running, doing his best. You got to be proud of the way you finished here today.
Yeah.
If you could step a little bit closer to the microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm proud, but I was really hoping to make it as a team this year.
Right.
But I'm so happy that I made it to regionals.
What does it mean for you to run in this race During the summer, we weren't sure what was going to happen as far as athletics are concerned. There was a lot of talk about, not having any type of sports, not having any type of athletics. It came through, delayed, but nonetheless, what is it? Just talk to me a little bit. What was it like during the summer and having to train on your own?
During the summer, it was a lot of it was a lot of doubt. Honestly, did not think that we were going to have a cross-country season with this whole COVID-19 going around. And especially hearing from the high school that I think tennis and football had gotten canceled, I was really hoping that none of our teammates had contracted the disease and anything. But it means a lot to still be able to run out here, have all these great runners compete and everything. Having people like John and Giovanni here come out here and compete, it's a blessing to be out here.
So what's next for you? You got regionals coming up. You're you're finishing the top 3.
Yeah.
I know Coach is hoping maybe you might even win a district championship, maybe finish in the top 1. But you were battling there, maybe second, maybe first. You got to be happy with third.
Yeah, I'm definitely proud, but it's a lot more practice that John and Giovanni put in front of me. Hopefully next year I can compete and get first place for my school.
Yep. You're a junior. You'll be back for your senior year next year, but right now enjoy it as a bronze medalist, and you're moving on to regionals.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Got a young man in. Step on in. Let's go. We'll get. Let's step up to the microphone. Another young man. Do you know where you finished? I know you were near the top 10.
I don't know.
You don't know yet? Okay. So with us here now, let me just look at my roster here. Brian Santiago?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Brian? How do you feel with your race? I know you were near the top 10 over there, maybe top 15. How do you feel you did here?
I was tired. It was a hard race, and I feel tired a little bit.
Yeah. I know Coach said you play soccer as well, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You do a lot of running in soccer as well, though.
Yeah.
What was your training like during the summer and before this meet, having to go through so many setbacks?
Oh, it was more. It was distance and then speed work also on the track.
You're the only senior on this team, right?
Yeah, I'm the only senior.
So what's it like having to lead this team, being the only one?
It feels good because I know the other runners did good also, and I'm super proud.
All right, congratulations. We'll let you go and results.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job running here today, Brian Santiago. Got another runner from San Benito, our 4th place finisher. Come on in. Roy Gomez. All right, Mr. Gomez. Representing San Benito here. You got to be happy. How did it feel to be running on your home grounds here at your high school?
I felt comfortable.
Closer to the micro. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, you're good.
I felt comfortable. I mean, every practice, every day in class, we would run this course, so I already knew it by memory. And it felt great because, this place brings back a lot of good memories. It feels great.
What's it like attacking these hills that are right by us here?
Well, apparently a couple weeks ago, they made it a little bit wider and steeper, so it was a little bit new to me, but overall, it was good. I mean, it's tough, going down the hill, you want to make sure you just go all out underneath so you can go up the other hill faster. It's a good workout.
Got to get that momentum going.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
What's your plans now? You got regionals coming up. How are you going to train for that?
I'm going to train every morning and hopefully every afternoon as well. I believe we have a week to train, and I'm just going to keep on training my best so I can hopefully make it to state.
All right, congratulations, Roy Gomez. Are you a senior this year?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, well, good luck the rest of your senior year, and congratulations on your 4th place finish.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, come on in, Coach Aletta. Well, Coach, you talked a lot about Derek Rodriguez and how he was going to battle it. He had a tremendous race. You had to be proud of him. You get a little bit closer to the mic.
Yeah, yes, sir, Carlos. Derek did a good job for us today. As I told you before yesterday, we were kind of hoping like if he would stick together in that first mile with those guys that he had a shot, actual district title. But he fell short, but I'm still proud of him. 3rd place finish overall.
It was a nice obstacle course. I wouldn't say obstacle course, but just going up these hills a little bit different. Were they ready for that? Did they know that was going to happen?
You know what? We did a little bit of hill training. Yeah. Our season, of course, was cut short. Our first meet was October 10th. So we did a little bit of hill training, like I said, and they were semi-prepared for it. Not as much as, as I would expected them to be, but they did a little bit of work.
The young sophomores, I saw them finish there near the top as well. They did pretty good.
They did okay. They did okay for us. From a 2-mile race that they ran last year compared to this year. This year's, of course, it's a 5K, it's 3.1 miles. So, I mean, they did what we expected them to do. They got the experience at the varsity level.
Yep.
Now, we're just hoping that, we can continue to grow next year.
Let's talk a little bit more about Derek. You had talked about how the first mile was going to be very important. If he can keep his pace up with the leaders, that he would be in contention, and he did that.
Yeah, he did. He did that. He did that first mile. I was pleased with that first mile that he ran. Cross country is about, positioning yourself after that first mile, because the pace usually settles. And then after that, after the 2 mile, that's when everybody starts picking up the pace again. So I was pretty pleased with Derek's performance today.
So what is the training going to be like here? You got, about a week or so before regionals?
Yeah, a week before regionals. We're probably going to do a lot more speed work, probably hit the hills a little bit more. And I can't wait. We got, like I said, one more week, and then we'll go from there.
How does it feel as a coach to be out and about instead of having to do your Zoom classes and working from home or working from an office, but to be out here in a cross country? I mean, it's got to feel good.
Oh yeah, definitely it feels good. We spend hours behind a computer, and sometimes by the end of the day, my head starts hurting. So it feels good to actually be out here and having to be allowed to take the day off, for a competition, especially for cross country.
All right, Coach, we'll let you go.
Thank you.
Coach Raymond Lara, congratulations. I appreciate it. We'll let you go. And we'll wait for we'll see the results come in here pretty quick. Yes, sir, we'll see you, Coach Lara. As his team, very, very young team this year, are the Weslaco Panthers. Lost a couple of kids who decided not to come back because of so many delays and question marks coming into the season. But Derek Rodriguez, definitely a strong finish for him as he picks up a bronze medal here for the Weslaco Panthers. We'll see the final results come in here as Mike is over there waiting for that. On the girls' side, the girls' team from Weslaco High finished in 3rd place earlier today. Amity Ebarb was crowned the district champion. So I'd like to thank once again San Benito ISD for having us here today for this beautiful day, and turned out to be a gorgeous day. We had a few clouds earlier. They have burned off, and now it's just nice, bright, sunny weather, nice, cool temperatures for everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. We've got Don Ramirez on the camera, Vinny, Barry on the camera, also Val Zamora, Darlene Gracia, Joe Leal on the audio. Darlene Gracia working the graphics here today, and the production crew leader is Mike Palacios. I'd like to also thank everybody back at the office. You got Mina Garcia helping us out. She is KWES secretary. And then master control operator, we have, let's get on this side, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Mike, did you get any final results, Mike?
I sure did,
okay.
Carlos.
Why don't you make the announcement, Mike?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So Harlingen High will go home with the boys and girls district championships. Harlingen High scored 44 points to win 1st place. In 2nd place was Donna North with 51 points, so congratulations. Harlingen High and Donna North will be moving on. And in 3rd place was Brownsville Hannah with 78 points. So those were your top 3 finishes, but the top 2 programs advanced to regionals.
All right, awesome. I'd like to thank Alma Franklin, who's back at Master Control at KWES as well. Okay, so congratulations to the Harlingen Lady Cardinals and the Harlingen Cardinals for winning the district championship. Also, congratulations to Amity Ebarb from Weslaco for doing a good job, and also Derek Rodriguez from Weslaco High on the boys' side who picked up a bronze. Any final words, Mike?
Well, no, just want to thank San Benito High School and Ed Calciosa for hosting the district meets. We want to wish all the athletes across the Rio Grande Valley the best of luck at regionals, and hopefully we'll have some moving on to state. Remember, it's the Rio Grande Valley, so we're all one and we're all rooting for you. And I'm just happy that we're able to even have this for our boys and girls student athletes.
All right, that'll wrap up our coverage from San Benito High School, the 32-6A championship, where it is the Harlingen Cardinals coming away with the title. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Robledo. We'll see you next time right here on KWES.